What's up, fellow wrestling fans? Josh here with RSMP Wrestling, and I'm excited because this is episode 2 of the RSMP Wrestling Podcast, and back with me, I have...
Well, hello again. It's Ryan Fraust again. I'm not a formal co-host, but unless there's a special guest, I'd like to be here and help out and talk because I talk a lot.
Well, we went a little over, like I said, what I think a normal episode would be the first time because we had to get some of the backstory and some of that. But no, it's always good to have you on. Again, there's plenty to talk about, so it's nice to have you back to follow it up so we can set more of the groundwork.
Yeah.
I will have Dan DeMann on pretty soon. He did reach out to me.
He is a tenured veteran in the scene. I've definitely had my I don't know how to put this, but we have been rivals and we have had our disputes in the past, but there's no denying the fact that he is invaluable to the local scene because he is such an incredible villain that you just love to freaking hate.
He
right?
did say that he's going to have no problem talking, so we'll get more than enough.
Oh my God. You probably get 2 or 3 episodes out of him, actually.
Peter, the chef Gianni, reached out to me. He said he would like to do something. So I said, yeah, let's get some dates together.
He's an interesting case because he's kind of like where I started and didn't really finish and came back. And he's kind of in that area as well. He's on a tear right now, an absolute tear. But, he didn't study, get ready and go. And he's been doing it for 20 years. It's been... a journey, so I'm sure that'll be interesting.
Nice. He's got good energy. He's got really good crowd work. He pulls them in. He's, he looks at people, he yells at them, he does his thing, it's good. It's entertaining.
He's got a really good drop kick, but don't worry, he'll tell you.
Yeah, actually, it was funny. Yeah, there's a picture going around that we had taken of his drop kick. He actually almost made the wall up here this week, but for this episode, Frosty, I did change out all the photos, actually. You had talked about your boy Ichiban over here, right?
Yep. Ichiban is the greatest. He's stomping Logan Black, who both guys that I've known for a long time. Logan Black, when I first met him, it was Warriors of Wrestling studio tapings in Staten Island at this adventure park, kind of adult gaming thing. And as far as I know, Warriors Wrestling is still going very strong. I think they just had an event with some really reputable names on it. But now I know that Logan Black has moved on and he's training people at, is it T2T? Him and Brother Greatness have a training facility in New York and they're doing a really great job. They have a lot of really great students that are starting to appear everywhere because that's what you do. He's also one of the toughest individuals I've ever had the pleasure of getting beat up by. Incredible person, incredible talent. Logan Black, the King of Chaos, and then Ichiban. I don't want to talk about him anymore. I talk about him too much.
So Logan Black, I didn't actually know too much about, but I did see him at this last event, and he came out wearing a drug-free hoodie, and I actually had grown up with that same hoodie, so it was kind of cool to see that.
He is the most punk human being. He is so punk.
Yeah, he was in a cage match. He was in the Rumble. He got his licks in that day for sure. It was rough on him. But no, it was good. And then over here, this is actually a really cool photo because the dude doing the work here, he's not a trained wrestler, is he?
I don't believe so. But
he's a cameraman.
Lewis,
I know that.
I don't know if it's Semdi or Semidi. Forgive me if I'm butchering your last name, sir, but he creates the whole line of Pioneer Valley Pro Wrestling trading cards. He takes photos of events. He created the whole trading card line. He's a huge fan, but also a huge contributor to the events, and that's him choke slamming the shit out of RJ Rude, who we talked about last week. Very impressive, actually. If you want me to be completely honest and dissect this, he's got him up as high as he can. He's got the hand under the ass, so he gets more height, so that he can make him come crashing down harder on the mat. That is a picture perfect choke slam, and I'm proud of you, Lewis. Good job.
Yeah, I am too. And he also does all the filming. He's their film guy for Pioneer. Yeah, so he does all that stuff. So it's cool. Watching him walk around, you can tell he watches it as a fan. He's always got a smile on his face. And he had asked me, he had reached out. He's like, did you get any pictures of that? And I was going back and forth between video and pictures and stuff. So I was like, I think I was on the camera at that time. And then when I saw the picture, I was so happy. He's actually, somebody else took another picture that's from the opposite side. almost the exact same time. So it's kind of cool because now he's got like 2 different angles from it. I do feel bad because this is the second time I've put a picture up there of RJ Rude getting demolished.
Well, maybe he ought to fight harder. I don't know what to tell you. I guess he's always grounded. But no, and then there's Ref Tiger in the bottom corner there. Really good facial, like really good, like, whoa, holy cow. Another local trainee. I'm not sure if he's training to wrestle or if he's planning on officiating, but he's doing a great job too.
Yeah, and then I've got a little something different in the middle here. So this is for Legends, video games, movies, and more. This is a small little, I don't want to call it like an antique shop. I guess it kind of is now with the age of the stuff that he sells. But like, if you want nostalgia, like Chris is awesome, man. He's just got such a good attitude. He's got such a good smile. He shows up to a lot of the wrestling events. He's a big fan, so you'll see him in the crowd sometimes. But also, I've seen him showing up to events where he'll bring a little stand. He's got a ton of wrestling stuff, action figures, rings, belts, Funko Pops. He's just a collector through and through. He loves this stuff. Big wrestling fan. And I just want to shout him out because he's a business that supports wrestling. And if you're anywhere near Granby, Massachusetts, you should go check him out. And actually, I'm going to insert a little promo video right now.
My name is Chris Silvestri. I'm the owner of Legends. I started this place 3 years ago. I've been wanting to start a place like this for 15 years now, and I finally did it. I love the nostalgia. I'm a big fan of video games and movies, and I've always had a passion for all this stuff. And all the old stores going out of business, like Toys R Us and KB Toys and all that, inspired me to just open my own thing and do my own thing, and I love it. And I love when everybody comes through here, I want to make them a legend.
And now we're probably back. Yeah, so that's Legends. You got to check this place out. It's super cool.
The local comic book store where I grew up was Legends of Superheroes, and we would just call it Legends. That's so cool. That's dope.
Yeah, no. So like I said, I want to kind of change those things out, or the pictures out behind us, so we can highlight some new people, you know. I don't know, maybe every episode, but it just felt right to print them out and change it up today.
You know what? I'm gonna do the shameless promotion as well.
I would love for you to do that.
Well, I'll get it out of the way now so that we can get on to all the fun stuff. I talked about West End Automotive last week. They have been extremely supportive of so many wrestling ventures that I've been part of, and also this is a little known fact. I don't know if anyone knows it actually, but aside from Angie, Jim's girlfriend, myself, and Jim, but when shortly after Jim and I started tagging, he needed a car, and Ray Brown and Zach Brown, who own West End Auto, went out of their way. They really made a great deal for Jim to get a vehicle so that he could, move around, because like, how hard is it to not have a car? And they went out of their way to make sure that my friend had transportation. Of course, what he did was picked up his car, walked across the street to the restaurant I was working at, and left a note that said, "You have tiny baby shoulders under my windshield wiper." However, they're good people, they take really good care of their vehicles. They have a very good sized pre-owned inventory, and they've been extremely supportive of me in every venture. They also own a bar called Brown's Irish Tavern in Waterbury near the dealership. I also have to talk about Uncommon Grill. You can't get a crummy plate. Everything they make is fantastic. They've had 2 spectacular chefs assemble what they have now as an incredible menu. They also have really dedicated, devoted bartenders creating crazy craft drinks. I mean, to me, it's a lot of ingredients and a lot of, roasted marshmallows and like crushed graham crackers and, dehydrated this or that. And, it's, it's spectacular, but the food is phenomenal. The drinks are phenomenal. The bartenders and the cooks are all fantastic. You won't have a better meal in or near Watertown, Connecticut for sure. And then the other place that I would like to acknowledge is Spartan Pizza and Restaurant, because they've been around for 40 years. Just this week, they were inducted into a Hospitality Hall of Fame. It is arguably the most consistent restaurant I've ever worked for. Everything you get is going to be exactly the same every time because those cooks have been there the whole time. And it's all really good. There's fantastic homemade Greek stuff. There's also all kinds of Italian food, pizza, like I said, but they make a great burger. All these places deserve your time and attention if you're in and near Waterbury, Connecticut. So please check any of them out. And now I'm done with the promotion. Sorry, guys.
Listen, I don't mind the promotion stuff. Again, anybody that's going to help wrestling out, wrestling's awesome, right? Like, it's something that it does need help. It's hard to do on your own. And when these companies are going to go out of their way to do something like this, I never have a problem shouting them out or promoting them. So honestly, everybody that Frosty just shouted out, thank you guys very much. If there's anybody else that wants to support the podcast, an event, anything like that, we're going to try to grow. I'm trying to make the set bigger and better every single time. We had mentioned we're working towards some projects. We've got a documentary. We've got hopefully what will be a 10-part mini series. And then we've done the promo stuff. So now, actually, I do want to move on to stuff in the future. We'll talk about the last thing in the past. It's very recently in the past, about a week ago, but we dropped your promo.
We did, and we talked about it beforehand on episode 1, and I was a little is the word reticent? Is the word not quite hesitant, but like I didn't want to say too much, and I didn't want to overhype and underdeliver. But man, I mean, I've got a lot of really good feedback from it, and I will say, if I didn't say last week, I can't recall exactly, but I've never had really good production quality for any of my promos. And I've always felt like if I did, they would be different and they would mean more and they would be better. And I really think that with your help, I executed what I can execute more capably. And I thank you very much for stepping in and providing that opportunity. I think a lot of the people out there who have seen it would agree that it looked fantastic. It sounded fantastic. And at the end of the day, it's just the way it is. Like, I have been just screwed over and over again at Test of Strength, like so many times. And I keep saying no place like home, in the promos or the posts. It's like, I love Test of Strength more than anything. Like, the fact that I have had the chance to live my dream and do what I always wanted to do since I was sitting on the living room floor of my great grandmother's house, I owe to Test of Strength. Absolutely. But, when you have these villains and these people in place who just keep taking from you and keep trying to remove all of the joy from something that you love so much, that's why now I feel like with Jimmy Mees and I, like, we have to start being disruptive and we have to start changing the way things are at Test of Strength. And, I think we communicated that with that promo, and thank you very much for the opportunity.
No, you're very welcome. So when we had talked about that, I know I was kind of harsh on people's promos and talking about, certain things, but I am going to do
Somebody said to me, like, okay, I'll get some lights. Jeez. And I'm like, no, it's Josh is just saying they would help.
Well, so again, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to do an episode where I'm going to actually have my uncle on, who we talked about, Uncle Shelley. He's going to come on, and we're going to talk about some photography tips, and we're going to talk about some video stuff. And I'm actually going to go through some real life examples to show people like what I'm talking about. One of the biggest things you can do, I was looking at it earlier. I didn't really want to spend the money on it, but I did buy one just so I literally just spent $30 of my own money just to make a video to show wrestlers like what you can do. I just bought a wireless mic for my iPhone because something that simple, a $30 investment, like
a lapel mic.
Yeah. They're so simple to use. And again, I'm not telling people like, oh, you can't use your phone. The biggest tip I can give you, don't hold your phone. It has to be stationary. Let your body movement dictate the motion in the scene.
So now you're talking to me. Because that's what I would do. And a little microphone would have helped 90% of the promos I've done, where I'm like this with my iPhone 11, just talking into it with whatever background noise, going right into it as well. I think I do a pretty good job of finding decent lighting and decent backgrounds. However, that's so invaluable is what you're talking about. The little things $30.
Yeah, and again, I'm not trying to tell people they should spend a bunch of money, but like if you want to invest in yourself, like drop $100 on your production value to do something. That would get you a microphone, that would get you a couple lights. I'm not going to get into it too deep here, but again, like yes, you can hold the camera, that's fine, but in my opinion, I think if your camera's set up on a tripod and locked off and you're letting your body dictate the motion and letting your body be the hulking force instead of this camera shake where sometimes it's a little, sometimes it'll slip. Forget that nonsense. Let it be steady, and then you be the performer, right? Like you dictate what happens. So that's huge. And then again, like what I tell people all the time is people will forgive a bad image because it's almost like a stylistic choice, right? Like I could make something in black and white and grainy and you could still love it if it sounds good. People will never forgive bad audio. So for $30, buy yourself the wireless audio thing. Your iPhone's designed to pick up sound from all over the place, and that's why it does. This little microphone, lavalier mics are designed to pick up sound in a tighter, more condensed space. So if you're walking through the mall with that on, you're going to pick up less noise. I'm not going to get super deep into it, but we're going to go through how to do some editing and how to put some clips together. I'll show you some free software you can download, but I really want to do a cool episode that's like, again, putting my money where my mouth is. I don't want to just like throw negativity out there and be like, hey guys, do better, but like, let me show you how we can do better together, you know?
But don't, because like mine looks good because you, so everybody don't listen to him. No, of course, we want to help everybody, man. We want everybody, because if everybody's better, then the whole thing is better. And that makes, if I make that guy better, then that makes me better. We all make each other better. So.
Exactly. And, I'm doing promotions for pretty much every organization around here that I think has a good show. Like I'm not locking myself into anybody. If we do talk about one more than the other, it's not on purpose. We're just talking about like what comes to heart. Our goal is to support everyone that we believe in and every organization in the area that we believe in.
I actually wanted, when I watched our last episode back, I wanted to say something along the lines of like, there's guys like Richard Holiday and Anthony Green and Flash Waller who are like way more prolific right now than I am. Like they're doing crazy things. Like I believe Richard Holiday wrestles 3 days a week, if not 5 days a week. Like these guys are doing it to a level that like at the moment, even if I was in a position to, I wouldn't be able to. Like I got to work, man. And to them, I got to work, man, is wrestling. And that's incredible. And I'm really happy for them. And I'm really proud of them as somebody who works with them. And it's awesome. It's just, I don't want anyone to think that I'm like the authority on anything. Like I'm just here talking with Josh. You know what I mean? Like, don't let me give you the impression that I think I know everything or anything at all. I'm just trying to offer my viewpoint. And that's what, when you said that just now about like, we're going to talk about the promotions that we know about, not that there aren't other promotions, not that there's anything out there that we're not talking about that isn't worthy. We're just trying to talk about what we know. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny too, like you brought up there's like a bunch of things I look back in that first episode, you called out Bull Dread, like in a story, and I didn't shout out Bull Dread. Like Bull Dread's awesome. Like,
he's great.
I want to share one quick story with him. So honestly, this was probably one of the coolest moments in wrestling for me, if I'm being perfectly honest, like not to get cheesy, but like Doc had his One Love Fest that I talked about in the first podcast episode, and Bull Dread wrestled in it. So number one, there's this really cool ring set up like outside. It's the most beautiful day. There's like live music in the background and stuff. And Bull Dread's in this ring kicking this dude's ass. Like I zoomed into it. There was a clump of hair laying on the middle of the mat at the end of the fight. Like it got crazy. And at one point, Bull Dread's like ripping this dude's face off, and he looks right up at the camera, like right in. He goes,
"You getting that, Josh? You getting that, Josh? Get that put that on your website. I'm the legend. I'm the legend, baby.
You getting that, Josh?" Like something like that. And it was the first time a wrestler like pulled me into the moment. And it was just really cool. Like he played the camera so well. Like his character was like, it was just so good. There was so much energy. Like the match was going great. Like people were loving it. It was a really cool thing to see. So,
mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he's been there. I think he wanted to retire at 25 years, and now he's like having so much fun and like just helping so many young people that I think he's going to stick around longer, even if he says he's not. But
I just saw that Pure Vanguard actually just released their full list of events that are coming out for next year, which I'll probably pop up on the screen for you right now. I'm looking forward to that. Any of these events that I can make it to, I'm going to try to make it to all of them, obviously, but I work a job that I have to travel sometimes, and I get short notice at times, which kind of sucks, but I like it. But if I can make it to these events, I'm going to try to make it to hopefully all of them. Do you know anybody else that has recently released their schedule for all of next year?
Supernova Wrestling, which is somewhere, I believe, near Brockton, Massachusetts. I know it's near Lynn, Massachusetts. The reason that I became involved with them was because there's a fan, Bobby D. Really great guy. When I was doing more with like UFO out in that area, he would be at the shows. He always helps put the ring up. Great individual, great fan, very supportive. And they were going to do like a trios tournament in his name. And I, wanted to be a part of it. It turns out it's the same Supernova that I had done one event with early on. I had just gotten cleared to take bookings. Wagner wrestled King Leon VI, who had Squire at the time. It was at the old XWA Center, which was a training school run by Matt Taven, Vincent. It was run by the Kingdom, Matt Bennett, and TK O'Ryan. Mike Bennett, sorry. So this event happened in their facility. I was the heater, which is like the bodyguard, the muscle guy for Sean Leader, who I've become very friendly with. Really good, solid Rhode Island wrestler. And we went against Colossal Mike Law, who I had known also from Warriors of Wrestling studio tapings down in Staten Island. See how incestuous it is and how everybody knows everybody and everyone gets everywhere, right? So I did that one Supernova Wrestling event back then. Turns out this is the same promotion, but they have some new people in the office and they're trying to present it in a different way. They released their schedule like 2 months ago, like because they have studio tapings and they have live events, and they're it's just a level of organization that I'm not really accustomed to, but they wanted to lock down the people who are in this particular storyline that I don't want to talk about too much right now because it's going to unfold, but I'm going to be going out there with a couple other guys who are training at Test of Strength, and we're going to have a nice little run there. They release their schedule. Test of Strength always releases their schedule. Sometimes, we're putting the date on hold, but we end up, needing to change venues or something, and sometimes that venue can't honor the same date. So as much as I love TOS, I'm not talking any junk. I'm just saying that, like, one or two of those dates might change at some point, but they're all online. Facebook events from Test of Strength, TOS Wrestling 1 on Facebook. They have the whole calendar of events is all up there, and you can count on the training day events because they're at the dojo and it doesn't matter. We don't have to like secure time with a venue. And then you said Vanguard did, right? Yep. I believe Xander over at Tetsu Pro usually has a good idea. I've seen, just as somebody who worked with PAPW for a good number of months last year, I have seen I've seen Paul Roma's handwritten, schedule at times, not for the coming year, but in the past I have. So I assume that they also plan it out and have an idea, especially because they have that brewery where they do the outside shows during the summer. So I think most people give you what they think is like the ideal schedule. And I think things happen in life and in entertainment where sometimes you have to change your date. And that does lead to complications. But for the most part, I think a lot of people plan out their year in advance.
Yeah. Well, again, like I've been thinking about the future a lot. We're coming into 2026. 2025 was, I guess, a lot of good and a lot of bad for probably same for a lot of people, but I'm excited for the things RSMP Wrestling's going to accomplish. Like I mean, your promo was really the first wrestling promo I've ever shot, so it's like, that's the first, it's only going to get better from here. And it's like the podcast, this is episode 2, but in just a few episodes, I'm sure I'm going to have more improvements to the set, more lighting changes, hopefully upgrade the mics and stuff.
Special guests.
Yeah. And then the people I bring on too, like that's, you know, the gear is cool and the set and stuff's fine, but it really is about the conversation and the community and the people that I have on. That's why I'm so excited to like, actually speaking of like fans and people that I can't wait to have on, Don Kincaid is absolutely going to come on here. And if I'm being honest, like out of all the guests that I've kind of have already lined up, like he's probably the one that I'm most excited to talk about because go, what were you gonna say?
Just it's gonna be hard to keep him in his seat. That's all.
But
you might want to tie him down.
Yeah, but that's what I love though. He's got this like this energy that's just like it just makes wrestling better. So I can't wait to show him off.
Definitely infectious. Like I tend to be like kind of a low, like you know I'm not very outward with my energy, you know, and he is quite the opposite, and we get along so well somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, no, so I'm looking forward to that. So, you know, we've got some stuff coming up, but again, like even, you know, I do plan on shooting full matches. Actually, today we're working on the podcast, but we are doing a few other things. I have a Pioneer Valley event that I'd filmed, and we're going to commentate it. We're going to do the voiceover for it. So I needed somebody who knew what the moves were called and what wrestling actually is, you know, so I had to bring Frosty aboard on this.
So I got to come up with my commentary name. I want to tribute somebody or something, but we'll figure it out.
There you go. No, so that'll be fun. But the other thing that I want to throw out is, you know, again, I talk a lot about people like liking and sharing because that helps us grow too. You know, it's like I want to promote as many people as I can, but like, guys, we need you to promote us too as hard as you can. So a lot of people don't know this, but like when we drop a video on YouTube, the first hour that it's out is the most important time for growth. So when it's first released, leaving comments and liking the actual YouTube video itself is really going to help the growth because my goal is if I can monetize the YouTube channel, which I need 1,000 subscribers. I think we're at 84 right now, and we need 4,000.
Brand new.
Yeah, yeah,
brand new.
And then we need 4,000 watch hours over like in the duration of a year, which I know we can get to because we're going to have the podcasts, we're going to have regular events, we're going to have documentary style stuff. So, you know, I want to be something a little bit more. You know, you had talked about Fogman and like people that have like encapsulated wrestling. It's really cool in the style that they've done it. I want to do it a little bit differently, my own way, you know, mix a few different mediums in. I thought it was actually, I didn't think it was going to be as impactful until I watched it back, but like adding the clips over even like the podcast, like that really helps cement in like some of the stories. And
several people spoke to me about that, both with the podcast and with the promo. Like, wow, you fit the footage in there. And it's like, that's what I was saying to you was like, to you, and I've seen this man operate like in person, he's just like, all right, it's done. Like, that's great that you can do that, but like people don't. So like that is an element that will, you know, with people's promos, as long as you watch these kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Advisory episodes of the podcast where you're helping people learn how to do that kind of stuff. Pay attention because like people really latch onto that and say, oh, this is professional because this is a level of production that I haven't seen before. I just, you know, if he's going to give you the help, like take it.
Yeah. And again, any interaction with anything that we do, the shares help a lot because it gets more people's eyes on what we're doing and stuff. So again, I'm probably going to shill for it every episode and I hate it, but like, it really is like, for me, like I do this for the art, but if we don't hustle it, like eyes don't get on it. And then essentially if there's no growth, like it gets hard. So that's really it on that. But the other reason I bring that up too is because, you know, I had brought up the stepdads and how awesome they were because they share a bunch of our stuff. They had actually commented on the post and they had given me some clarification on what that, what the newspaper actually is. They said it's from the 80s. It's the actual when Batman got released for the theaters. So it's like, it was a real newspaper that's old for the Batman release. So it was super cool. But I mean, it's like, he's got this like piece of history. I'm actually a big Batman fan. I don't know if you know that. Got some Batman stuff up there. But yeah, so it's super cool to like, you know, get that fill in the story, but I definitely want to have those guys on and like hear more about them too, because that would be awesome. But, you know, you got to see Frosty's promo by now. I'm not saying that I'm going to find somebody that's like, you know, the wrestler or the tag team or whatever it is that's liking and sharing and doing our stuff. But again, my goal is to help people grow. So I wouldn't be surprised if I randomly picked somebody that was like sharing a lot of our stuff and was like, hey, let me cut you a sick promo for helping us out and doing what you do. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I mean, anybody would benefit for certain, you know.
Yeah. So future, what are your future plans? I talked a little bit about my future plans. And again, you know, I want to make better content, more targeted, higher quality, get more people involved and really spread the word of wrestling. Where are you at?
Well, So how do I put it? I don't want to say like I took my foot off the gas or that I cared any less, but like it's been a challenging stretch where I haven't gotten to the gym as much as I should, and I haven't been as active in seeking bookings as I should. And I, like I said last podcast, I don't have an excuse. I'm not like, oh, well, this happened. Like, life happens and it's going to continue to happen no matter what I want or no matter how I act or no matter what I do. Life is going to continue to happen. And I do know that like all it takes is, the right mindset and the right actions to make positive changes. So like, I'm not complaining. I'm not even saying I did anything wrong, to be honest. I just haven't been as intentional as I could be or should be to achieve the things that I want to. So, this promo that we just did and the fact that I have this kind of like re-debut at Test of Strength is I'm trying to use as a catalyst to really embrace the fact that time is not getting longer. Time is getting shorter. And, the things that I'd really like to even approach, if not accomplish, like I have to get moving on. So that is the goal. Not that it's anybody's business or that it matters, but, for the last 3 to 5 weeks, I haven't had health insurance because, I missed something and didn't get didn't open a piece of mail or something. I just settled that today. So like January 1st, I have health insurance again. Do I want to go there and like do leapfrogs and get punched in the face and like fall on the ground when I don't have health insurance? Like, no, like that's not a great idea. There's so many things that go into this that you don't think about until it becomes a possibility or an issue. But yeah, like, there's all kinds of stuff that contributes to like not being as intentional, not being as active as I should be. But at the end of the day, the things that you and I are working on right now, I'm trying to use as kind of the catalyst to really getting after it. When Jim was around, when I was seeing Big Jim Anderson every single day, when we were talking several times a day, when I was going to the gym 3-4 times a week with him, when we would have a booking on the weekend, so we'd be together for that. I had no choice because like he was like, all right, 9 a.m. tomorrow. Okay. Like I have to, even if I showed up at 9:17, at least I had to be there and I had to do it. And, after Jim passed, there's a certain amount of, we have to do it for him. We have to keep going because he wanted us to. He would say to me at times, this is my last run, so we got to make it count. And that's very grim, especially considering what actually happened. And you can't predict that. You can't know that that's going to happen or think that that's going to happen. I can't imagine he knew. But eventually, like we have to do it for him. We have to do it for him. I don't want to say like that goes away. It certainly doesn't. But like the drive, eventually this person isn't around anymore and it becomes an emptiness and it becomes, the realization of the loss. And that's, I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying like that momentum is no longer. And it's like, so I got to get in there for me. Like there have been several times in life where it's been like, either I've had a personal struggle or I'm trying to achieve something personally. Like it could be good or bad. And people say like, you have to do it for you first. If you always want to do it for someone else, you're never going to do it because you have to do it for you. And I understand that. And I'm not saying that's not true. But I'm saying that the way I'm wired, I will be there for someone else all the time. I will be there for someone else every single time. I will not always be there for myself. I don't know. Like, I don't know where that failing is. I don't know where that problem is. But that is something that's a very legitimate thing for me. So you're talking about the future, and you're talking about like where you're going and what you're trying to do, and you're saying that to me. I am trying to, honor the memory of a friend, and I'm trying to make sure that if I'm doing this physically destructive thing called professional wrestling, that I'm making it count, and that I'm doing it for a reason, and that I'm at least trying to achieve as much as I want to or can before I have to stop, I actually spoke to Wagner last year, and I said, when I was trying to like figure out where we were, because my last year at Test of Strength, just like in the promo, like I didn't do a lot at Test of Strength, and that's home. That's where I want to be contributing. That's where I want to make the promotion bigger. And regardless of whether it's about me or it's about Super Fro or it's about Young Boy or it's about Patrick Saint or it's about Red Sawyer, I want everything that Test of Strength does to be bigger and mean more. And that's genuine. That's 150% from my soul. And I was around, but I wasn't contributing performance-wise. I want to be there more, and I want to contribute more to Test of Strength. And, Vanguard is doing great, but it's still getting off its feet. They're still building the Sportatorium. They're still trying to do more than 4 to 6 shows a year. I want to help them do that. Tetsu Pro Wrestling. I absolutely love working with Xander, whether it's Tetsu Pro or it's Cosplay Championship Wrestling that performs at that at the Kineticon. Yep. I want to make all of this, and anything that I'm part of, I want to make bigger. And it's not for me; it's for everybody. But of course, that helps me. If it's bigger, it also helps me. But I want it to help everybody. I want all of my friends that I've made in this absurd world of professional wrestling. I want us all to experience a better world. So that's kind of a long roundabout answer, but yeah, my goal for the future is to be more intentional, to do everything I'm supposed to be doing, and ultimately leave everything better than I found it.
Yeah, no, it's not that it's a lie. It's just like you've obviously thought about it and put some good intention into what you want to get at it next year. So it's complicated, right?
Yeah, Bob Evans, Uncle Bob, put a post up recently that was like, what's your biggest regret in pro wrestling? And I always try to interact with Bob because he's been very good to me. And I said, you know what? I think my biggest regret is always thinking there's more time. And I know that that's almost a cliche that people say all the time, but like truly, it's like, okay, well, I don't have this debut in this promotion for another 3 weeks, so I don't have to go to the gym tomorrow. Like, I'll go. It's 3 weeks. I'll get there. And then like the 3 weeks happens and I'm like, oh, I only got to the gym twice. I just trying to be more intentional every day instead of, hoping that I find the motivation, because motivation is not, you can't wait for motivation. Motivation is momentum. It's not an instant. It's not like, okay, well, I want to write a book. I don't feel like writing today. No, you have to write today. You have to write every day. And if it sucks, get rid of it. But you still wrote. And then when the actual inspiration arrives, you're ready. And with wrestling, like, oh, I don't feel like training this week. Okay, well, then next week you still didn't train last week. So you're still in the same shape you're in. Whereas if you trained last week, you're still in crummy shape, but you're in better shape. I just want to be more intentional. That's a lot, guys. I'm sorry.
No, not at all. Again, well, the first episode, I guess I got a little cheesy to talking about community and stuff like that, but like, that's a big part of it. Like you said, like
it's completely true. It's completely real.
It's one thing to like self-motivate, which is hard enough, but like, I think if you do have a community, you do have a good group of people. You had talked about when you were the most successful at training, it was when you had the same group of people that you knew you could rely on week after week after week. So it makes perfect sense to me.
I want to say that TOS has that right now. They really do. All the kids who are in there training week in and week out are doing a fantastic job. I don't want to make it sound like the people I were training with back then were better. That's not the case. It's just that I haven't been there, so I haven't been experiencing it. But every time I go in there, I see a lot of familiar faces that are working hard, and they're all getting to where they want to be. Like, and I can't speak for every school, but when I see people at PAPW, I see the same people from PAPW at every show. And eventually this kid who's been sitting in the audience for 2 months all of a sudden he has a match. You know, you see the growth, even if you're not there in the room while it happens.
Yeah. No, and you know, it's like, again, I'm excited to see what the promotions do this year. Storylines are going to evolve, matches are going to get crazier, just like everything else. And it's like, already, I mean, you know, this is like my first real year being into like the independent professional wrestling scene. And I realized I did that the first episode. I called it amateur. I'm just like, in everything else, amateur is not the same thing. Like professional wrestling. Yeah, right. I messed that up. So I apologize, guys.
Well, it's just, when we talk about amateur wrestling, we're talking about like high school.
Exactly.
Collegiate, like Greco-Roman style.
Independent professional wrestling is what I should have worded that as. So I'm learning, you know. But no, I'm just excited to see what they do. And like I said, I'm going to try to make it to as many matches this year as I can. And, you know, some of them maybe I'll shoot fully, some of them I'll shoot promo style. But what's cool is the more that I shoot the promo style, like if the podcast kind of takes off and people do like this style of video and content, I get a lot of really cool stuff to overlay and really make those, you know, something special. So, you know, I'll continue to go down that path, but I'm basically willing to like see what you guys want as fans. You know, I'm here trying to figure it out. We're trying to figure it out. We had some ideas, like a podcast seemed like a great place to start. And actually, I don't want to say this because I don't want to make it sound like I'm bragging, but like, Doc, you made my day with your comment, man. Doc had said that like we raised the bar for like wrestling podcasts now. And it was like, I don't know, it just meant a lot to me. Like it was for our first one to get a compliment like that. Like,
well, when you say the word podcast, even like everyone has a podcast, like because of the accessibility of the internet and technology with iPhones being able to capture as much as they can now, you know, it's very easy to have a podcast. It's not easy to have, you know, a well-lit podcast and to have like a cool scenic area, like the visual is cool too. You know, a lot of podcasts don't even have visuals. The first podcast I did called The Rope Break, which I guess there were a bunch of different podcasts called The Rope Break, but ours, you know, me and DJ Joey Etch, a very good friend of mine, you know, we thought we were doing a great job. Everybody who listened said we were doing a great job, but it's like, you know, there's only so much you can do, right? You have all this, all these means, these resources to create something special. So it is going to be different. You know, it is going to be a different presentation. So that's why I would so strongly encourage anybody who's watching this to get on here. You know, I want to see Hippie Dicky Moon on here. I want to see Bull Dread on here to talk about 25 years of wrestling in the Northeast.
He reached out. We're going to get him on as well.
Of course.
Yeah,
and I don't doubt that at all.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see, but I want to see the new kids too. You know, you asked me how I got into wrestling. I want to know how Jeremy LaCroix got into wrestling. Yep. He's like 15 years old, barely has a mustache, but
is he really that young?
No, I'm just making fun of him. But, you know, what got him into it? Like, because I can't relate to that because I was his age now. I'm like double his age, probably, you know, so things that I was watching was different, even though he still listens to all the music that I listened to, according to his Spotify. So he should be a 43-year-old man. But, you know, like him, Algo Nelly, like Stefan Streets.
What got you into wrestling?
I got into professional wrestling as a kid. I ended up stumbling across it by accident, and just the way that pro wrestling made me feel, nothing compared to it.
Is going to graduate from Test of Strength. He has had some matches at training day events. He's done some battle royals. He's done some tag matches. I know he's in a 6-man tag on Sunday at the upcoming training day event. He is going to be a menace. He's big. He loves it. He trains as hard as anybody else at the dojo. He's going to be a menace. I want to hear, even though he's not really, like, he's not taking like a bunch of outside bookings yet, he's not going on all the drives yet, I want to hear what got him into wrestling. I want to know what makes him want to do it, what drives him to do it, and what he plans for the future, you know? And this is going to be the best place to do it. So I'm just, you know, really, on behalf of the community, I'm grateful that this exists.
Oh, no, I'm happy to be here and part of this, you know? Sorry, I don't know. It's like, I hate talking about myself. Like, it's cool. I wanted to find a good community that was worth like highlighting and showcasing. And it's just pretty obvious that this is the one, you know? So it makes sense. But no, I appreciate that. Thank you, Frosty. Other than, I'm going to take away 3 options from you, but I got a question for you. I want to know, who are the 3 wrestlers that you're most excited to see, upcoming guys, not people that have been established, in 2026 in the season? But I don't want to hear Ichiban. I don't want to hear Dustin Waller.
No, they're established.
Yeah, who are the guys
count.
that are maybe the viewers that are watching this right now might not know, but like who should they keep an eye on?
So, Pretty Poppy has Pretty Magic, where he's tagging with Magic Man, both trained out of Test of Strength. He also has Pretty Chill, where he tags with Hippie Dicky Moon. Hippie is an old man at this point. But those 2 teams centering around Pretty Poppy, I am really excited to see how much they can do, because they, especially Magic Man has really like firmly endeared himself to the Test of Strength audience, but I haven't seen him much outside of TOS. So I'm excited to see how he can grow with or outside of the union with Poppy. The Poster Boys are a tag team out of Test of Strength that, I mean, one of their like first 5 matches, they won tag team championships at some promotion in Long Island. Like they're doing great. I've gone on a drive with Cat Daddy. He's good to be in a car with. He started later in life, kind of like I did. So he's just trying to live this dream like any of us. Algo Nelly from PAPW and Jeremy LaCroix from PAPW, Kaizo from PAPW. There's Rainn Wilson from PvP, who is such a dick, but like he's gonna be so good. He's like, it just, you don't even, like, if you see him with a microphone, you're like, God, don't talk. I don't want to listen to you. But that's a good thing, man. Like, cause that's a character that you're like invested in. You want to see him get his ass kicked. Everybody out of Bio, really, the tag team Night Train, which is Drager, and there's so many good young talents. I don't want to name anybody because I don't want to leave anybody out. There's just so many.
And what's not fair too is I didn't tell you I was going to ask
fucking
this
Tunis. Sorry.
Yes.
Jay Tunis is already really good. And who knows how good he's going to get. I think it's still his first year. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no. So, it's funny. Jay Tunis, I have a picture of him getting drop kicked by Fancy Ryan Clancy, and that almost made it up here for this episode. I was going back and forth on it. It was like a sick picture. Like, Fancy, I like Ryan Clancy too. He's funny. He works the crowd a lot too.
He's as good as anybody also. He's right there with anybody I would ever say. Like, and that's not that I'm an authority, but like, I think wrestling in general is, very subjective. So everybody's going to have different favorites, but you can't deny the fact that Ryan Clancy is an incredible professional wrestler. He just came back from a tour of Japan. Like he's really killing it. I think he's the internet. It's like the world championship of internet, like independent wrestling. Forgive me. I should know.
We should be more prepared.
Yeah. But he's got a really important, recognized belt right now. He's just so good. But wear knee pads, bro. Ow. I can't think about it. But yeah, there's so many, man. I don't know if enough people talk about Big Boofa. He is the Limitless Wrestling champion, so like he gets his flowers, but he's just so incredible, and I don't see him enough places. I don't think Desmond Cole, the Big Boofa. There's just so many, man. It's a boom, and they say it's a boom, and it's like, oh well, if you put this statistic from the Attitude Era against this statistic from the Seth Rollins era or whatever, fucking whatever, dude. Like, wrestling is cool right now, and there's so many good wrestlers. There's so many places to see good wrestling. It's almost like impossible to avoid it. Like I don't know how people do.
Yeah. Honestly. No, I hear you. Well, we'd like to get a little bit more like fan interaction, people watching this. So in the comments for future episodes coming up, like I said, I've mentioned some of the guests we have coming up, but I will definitely have on. Hippie did reach out to me as well. So we'll have him on. We're going to have Bull Dread on.
Don't let Hippie be too humble, man. Like he's got to give himself some credit because he has impacted countless professional wrestling lives. And he's created countless memories for people as a wrestler. So like, don't let him be too humble. He's awesome.
In the few messages that we've exchanged, I can already tell he's just a wonderful human being. Like, I very much enjoyed him already. Bull Dread, and then Dan DeMann will actually probably be the next one. He's actually coming down next week. So I'm looking forward to that too. So if you guys want to ask them any questions at all, feel free to post it in the comments. If there's anything that you want to know, if you want to trash talk them, feel free to.
Yeah, just please tell him I think he's a jerk. But.
I'm just going to see, we're going to see like Ryan Fraust like 6 times underneath this. Tell this person that, but no, that'd be great. But I appreciate you coming back on, Frosty. We've got some more wrestling work to do. We're going to be pretty busy today. The last thing, I guess I'll let it out of the bag because we're going to do it. So not only are we going to try to commentate a few matches, but Test of Strength's near and dear to your heart. I was able to do, what I'm pretty proud of, a pretty banger promo for Pioneer Valley. And we're going to do a similar one for Test of Strength now, but I didn't want to do the voiceover. I honestly shouldn't have did the first one because it just,
I thought you sounded great.
Oh, thank you.
I did. I really did.
Well, I think it's nice to have like the voice of somebody that's been in it. So to add that little touch for Test of Strength is going to be nice.
But at the same, you are also the filmmaker, so don't take that away from yourself. You definitely. I thought it fit. I thought you did really well. But
the problem whenever I do anything, like like working on the ambulance all those years, like I get like I always try to hit the emotional stuff, so it always ends up being a little too sad and like a little too like bleak. Like I don't know. Weirdly enough, that's the stuff I like to make. Like I want it to like hit the heartstrings when you watch it.
Yeah. I get that for sure.
But awesome. So, hey guys, please like, subscribe, comment, and share, and be on the lookout because I'm going to try to drop a podcast every week if possible. We're just getting off the ground right now, so I don't really have any banked up. Once we get some, that'll be kind of nice. And then in between, we're going to be dropping more matches and more cinematic content, more promotions. Yeah. So be on the lookout.
So Alex Rojas always said, we are emotional DJs. We're, telling... We're conveying the emotions to the audience. So
I like that. Yeah. And the last thing I'm going to leave you off before we sign off here is, again, anybody that wants to sponsor, whether it's us and what we're doing, whether it's an event, reach out because we want to grow. We're more than happy to throw businesses and brands and help out and shout out. And again, I can even get to those locations and shoot some video and incorporate it at even a higher level. I really do want to. And again, I know it's weird to like even want to like shout out the businesses and stuff, but like if they're willing to invest in us, like not everybody's willing to do that. So that really, really is something special. So earlier when you were talking about all those people, that's fine. You didn't take too much time. We need more of that. So thank you to all those people that Frosty shouted out. You have anything to add or?
Just keep watching. Running Scare Motion Pictures Wrestling is going to help everybody. So, support.
Until next time, stay safe.